You're showing your age here, man.
Yeah, I know it. Well, you know, a friend of mine over in Palestine had his birthday today, and somebody said something about age, and I told him, I said, let me tell you something about age. I said, about 3 years ago, I went to the McGregor, to the Texas Senior Pro Rodeo. A friend of mine, Robert Blanford, was furnishing the cattle, so I went over there to watch, you know, and this man had a really nice black calf horse, and he backed up in there. And now, mind you, these calves were little. They didn't have milk on their mouth, but they were pretty small. He went out there, just cut his head off just like that, walked off the right, went down there, tied him, got his hands up, 16-2. Well, that's not real fast by Marty Yates standards, till you consider that John Ray Powell was 90 years old the day I watched him do that. So, you know, that's kind of where cowboying comes from, you know. But anyway, I owe my rodeoing to Dan Willis and Dickie Cox. And I wrote it about guys that I'd seen. And then as I went on in life, it was how cowboys think. It's how we look at life. And for everybody that's moving here from California, you will have to recite this and sign the pledge or you can't get in.
Goes back to the video.
I love it. It's going to happen.
So he wore an old black hat and a pair of run-over boots. You could see the Hagen ring on his Wranglers when he climbed up on the chutes. He had steel blue eyes and his face was leather tan. And you could say you'd seen a real cowboy when you looked at that old hand. He stepped down off that gate and he sat down behind the chutes and strapped a pair of Blackwoods on them old run-over boots. And this kid walked up to him and introduced himself. Said he'd drawn one bad to fight the gate, would be obliged for some help. The old hand just nodded. And he said, I'll help you do your best. Said, I've been down that road before, kid, along with all the rest. He said, I noticed you staring at me through the corner of my eye. And what you don't understand is how this old hand can twist 'em and still get by. Oh, I know. You've seen 'em on the covers of the magazines and on them TV shows. Now you gonna be a cowboy. Twist the big-time rodeo. Well, you gather up, partner, so you can plainly hear. Talk's cheap, but when I speak, it's not the wind blowing through your ear. You see, I came up the long way through the school of hard knocks. And what improved my riding was my deciding I couldn't eat them rocks. Said I've been throwed off so many times that I thought I was part of the ground. But I kept on trying, and I kept on trying till I could keep the forked end down. Now, I've been to more than just a county fair, and I have fanned a few good broncs. But in blood and pain, I learned this game, but I wasn't riding a stool in a local honky-tonk. Now, it don't matter to me where you come from, and it don't matter what you've rode. But if you're going to be one of us, you need to learn to live by the cowboy code. Don't bitch about the draw. Get on, do the best you can. There's good draws and bad draws for every rodeo hand. And be easy on the stock. They got feelings too, 'cause it's bulls, broncs, calves, and steers that make a living for fools like me and you. And you always do your best in anything you do. Let your handshake be your bond, and let your word be true. And never rest on the laurels of anything you've done, and a cowboy will never stand any taller than when he stoops to help someone. But you love it and live it, cowboy, while you can, 'cause there ain't no better life than that of a rodeo hand. But you remember what I tell you about the rodeo game, 'cause she'll love you and leave you just like a fickle old dame. So whether you're eating on the chicken or its feathers, win, lose, or draw, you'll win a few, lose a few, but you make sure that you cowboy up for them all.
There you go.
And that's for everybody.